Hey guys, thanks for tuning into another video. This is the episode 7 review of AHSOKA, and this episode, you're getting Boba Fett levels of stupidity here, so this will be interesting. Quick recap. AHSOKA finds map in Treasure Planet Orb. AHSOKA loses map to bad guys because she trusts Sabine, who's essentially a 15-year-old in a 30-year-old body. Bad guys leave and use the map to find Thrawn in another galaxy, and it doesn't matter because AHSOKA uses space whales who fart space gas to go into hyperspace along the exact same route the map is showing. Somehow. The episode starts on Coruscant. The previously shown morons, including Mon Mothma of the New Republic, are chastising Hera for helping AHSOKA in going after the bad guys, which includes 2 non-Jedi and a Night Sister. And she wasn't authorized despite being a literal general and using 4 X-Wings. She's a general and she took 4, I'm assuming they have millions, 4 X-Wings. And they're having like a literal military tribunal over taking 4 X-Wings, and she's a general. This is so stupid. Is this how Dave Filoni thinks the military works? Really? So she had to fly to the Capitol and go through this whole thing for taking 4 X-Wings. So, I don't know how they have all this time and energy to worry about nothing, but good for them. And then this moron is the New Republic guy, because they got to make all the New Republic people stupid, right? It's the only way they can justify the sequels. The New Republic has to be a bunch of morons that don't know what they're doing because they didn't explain how the First Order rose. They could have made it sense. I made it made sense in my sequel reimagined on YouTube. I made it make sense how they come about. No, they just didn't. They didn't explain it. So now they have to make the New Republic idiots because they have no other way of explaining it because they don't know how to write anything. So anyways, this moron senator scoffing at the idea of remnant Imperials that Hera tells him they're up against, and he's probably an Imperial himself, as the show already made it clear that they're everywhere because people just loved living in the Empire. It was so good. They want it back, despite the celebrating in Return of the Jedi. And Hera's like, if Thrawn returns, things will get bad. And I'm like, who cares? He has 1 beat-up ship and 50 zombie stormtroopers at his disposal. Who cares? Why does anyone care about Thrawn at all? It's one of the problems with this show is they hyped Thrawn in the marketing in the first number of episodes, 5 episodes, and he's literally got 1 ship that has multiple thrusters that don't even work. They show that. They're destroyed. And 50 zombie stormtroopers. Now, ultimately, he should be dead. He was exposed to the vacuum of space. We know that from the last episode of Rebels. I don't know how Rebels fans are ignoring this. I don't know how they don't compute this. The windows were broken on the ship, and he went into open space. He should be dead. Alas, whatever. They ignore that. Even if he is alive, his ship is basically useless, and he's got 50 guys. And they traveled all the way across the universe to find this guy. What? Why? You had a ship that could travel galaxy to galaxy. You could go do whatever you want. Why are you wasting your time with Thrawn? It doesn't make any sense. You have a full setup. We already saw it in the early episodes, right? Morgan, she's got her big ship. She can steal hyperdrive. She's got a system in place where she's got sympathetic people all over. She can build massive ships. Why are you going to get Thrawn? He offers nothing. It's just so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And they hyped him up so much. And C-3PO shows up on Leia's behalf. Now, I was told pretty solidly that Leia was going to be in this. And I still think she is going to be, really briefly, but this kind of was like, whoa, maybe she won't be, because I thought this was actually supposed to be her. Anyway, he shows up on Leia's behalf to the court case for the 4 stupid X-Wings and Hera, and says Leia authorized the use of the 4 ships, and that she's the senator that leads the defense council. So Hera's all good now from being court-martialed. And then Mothma pulls Hera aside and actually listens and isn't dumb, as Hera tells her the threat is very real from Thrawn, who again has 50 zombie stormtroopers and a Star Destroyer that is pretty much done. He's a threat. Thrawn! And then it's back to the space whales flying through rainbow hyperspace. It's got everything's rainbows. 2023, it's Rainbow Land. And then AHSOKA is swinging her sabers around practicing while listening to Anakin hologram give her a pep talk. And she realizes Anakin made a whole bunch of recordings for her. And then she says he actually was a good master. So AHSOKA the White, who already was AHSOKA the White in Rebels, but she's now AHSOKA the White again. I don't know what happened there, but whatever. And she's thinks Anakin was good again now. And then they come out of hyperspace conveniently, not just in another galaxy, but literally at the same planet. It's just so corny. They literally, like, there's no struggle for Ahsoka at all in anything. In anything. It's like Rey. It's like everything just happens so conveniently and nice. So they get in the whale's mouth, and the whales literally take her directly to the planet. So the thought process was, well, they know the route to the other galaxy. So we'll get in these whales, and we'll go in the whale's mouth like Jonah, and we'll end up in the other galaxy. Okay, fine. That's, I guess, believable in the Star Wars-y type sense, but literally they take her to the planet that Morgan and the non-Jedi and everybody else is at. Literally the planet. They don't have to find out where they are at all. They just get in the whales. So then you're like, well, the whole first few episodes and the whole find the map and use the map, and the map was the big issue, and then the bad guys got the map. You could have just not gotten the map, and then the baddies wouldn't have gotten the map because they didn't know where it was. Or did Morgan know where it was? And if Morgan knew where it was, why didn't she already have it? You see what I'm saying? This whole series is so stupid, because if Morgan knew where the map was, Morgan would have already had the map years ago, right? And Ahsoka found the map in an ancient Night Sister temple or whatever it was. And then the only reason that the bad guys got to the other galaxy was by them getting the map from Sabine via Ahsoka. But then Ahsoka can get to the exact same planet in the other galaxy that they're going to through the whales anyway. So she didn't technically need the map to find Ezra. She could have just used the whales. So the whole thing is pointless. This whole show is pointless. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened if you really think about it. Absolutely nothing. The only thing that's happened is Sabine has reunited with Ezra in 6 episodes. Literally. Like, nothing else has happened. Thrawn hasn't done anything. No one's done anything. So Filoni is a master at dragging plot lines on and somehow coercing fans into sitting there and thinking it's good. Because he does it in Clone Wars too. It's just drag these plot lines along as long as you can and have a whole bunch of stupid, pointless stuff that people actually think has a point when it has no point. This is so stupid. This got so bad so quick in this episode. I can't believe how bad it is. Anyway, they get to this planet where the bad guys are, and there's a huge minefield all around it. We didn't see that when Morgan's ship landed there, but for some reason now we do. I don't know if it was Morgan set up all these mines. That was a lot of work. I guess I just don't get it. They weren't there when Morgan got there. Now there's all of a sudden this gigantic minefield. Anyway, the mines start blowing up and causing the whales pain, and they don't like it. And so Ahsoka exits the whale that she's in, and but the whales don't stick around. And when I mean she exits the whale she's in a ship in the whale. And again, they're trying to get us nostalgic about the worm and the Empire, the giant worm, and you see through the mouth. It's just whatever. The whales don't want to stick around in hyperspace. They leave. They hit hyperspace again, and they get out of there. But it doesn't matter, as Ahsoka gets through the minefield with ease, and nothing happens anyways. So the whole thing, they're like, oh, the droid there, what's his name, was like, oh, the whales are giving us cover, because the whales are sucking the mines over to them instead of the ship, because they're so much bigger. And then they leave, and then Ahsoka's like, you have to open your big mouth, and then literally nothing happens. So there's these lines of dialogue that it like gets you all hyped up for, oh my gosh, they're going to have to like dodge a pile of mines, they're almost going to die, oh my gosh, it's going to be a crazy scene, and then no. They just fly through and nothing. Literally, there's no threat. It's just like, this show sucks. And then Morgan releases her fighters. The same ones in a previous episode just decided not to destroy Ahsoka's ship for reasons we will never know. Like, they just decided we're not shooting her ship, and now they're attacking her ship again. Oh man, plot convenience. We can't have the ship get blown up because then we can't have Ahsoka get in the whale with her ship. But then you're like, well, why didn't you have some other reason why they didn't blow up the ship instead of just not firing? Maybe Ahsoka avoids it. Maybe she's like really good pilot, or maybe somebody else comes out of nowhere and blocks the way of the fighters. No, they just don't shoot it for no reason. So again, it's all plot convenience. And then we cut to Thrawn, and he finds out Anakin was Ahsoka's master, and that makes her unpredictable. So he tells Morgan to call off the fighters because she will choose her own path, and that means they will be one step ahead of her by letting her go. That doesn't make any sense. So he thinks Ahsoka's unpredictable because Anakin was unpredictable. So if they let her do her own thing, which is unpredictable, they'll be one step ahead of her. So by not knowing what she's going to do and letting her do that, not knowing what it's going to be, you're one step ahead of her. That's literally what he says. It's just, he's trying so hard to make Thrawn this like big strategist, but he's doing it like with his own stupid wisdom in his writing instead of like going to the Thrawn books and actually like, it's just, this is just, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so Ahsoka hides in the debris field of decayed space whale carcasses. All right, so that's where she is right now with her droid and the ship that they never shoot. And then Sabine and Ezra are traveling to a new camp with the Turtle Tribe, and Sabine tells them some stuff, but still won't tell them what she actually did, that it was her fault that the baddies got the map because she literally handed it over so she could see Ezra. And this is twice now they've troped this, where she just decides not to tell him things. And it's lame, it's dumb, it's like, I guess that they're trying to like have Sabine appeal to the dumb 15-year-old. Lies by omission are good, I guess, is the theme for teenage girls to learn from this. It's this twice now. So let's call it a day on the I'm not going to tell you what really happened, Ezra. And Ezra, like, unlike any other normal human man, is like, yeah, that's okay, don't tell me. No, in real life, if you don't tell me stuff, I don't trust you. So what the heck happened, Sabine? Please tell me what happened. I'm not just going to accept not knowing anything. Like, who are these characters? It's like the females can just be like, no, I'm just not going to tell you stuff. And then the men that are involved with them and trying to get away from bad people are like, yeah, cool, don't tell me. It's all good, man. What? That's not normal life. Like, that's not normal interaction. Like, he should have been like, okay, Sabine, you need to tell me what happened. Like, this, you already did this a few days ago. You wouldn't tell me. I need to know now. Like, we're not messing around. No, he's just like, yeah, sure, don't tell me, Sabine. That's why I love you so much, because you don't tell me anything, and I have no idea who you even are, but I love you. And then Lord of the Rings style, it's just everything in the show is a ripoff. Lord of the Rings style, Balin and Shin are following their scent on their wargs, looking for Sabine and Ezra. It's just, Filoni's such a joke. Anyway, and then the Night Witches come in to talk to Thrawn, and Thrawn tells them to find out where Ahsoka is hiding, and they're like, yes, master. And I'm like, why? What does Thrawn offer to any of these people? I'm assuming that these witches made these stormtroopers come back to life. They're zombie troopers, right? I'm assuming, like, why are you controlling the zombie troopers? Why are you under Thrawn's authority? Like, just use your magic and just send him away. Like, why is everyone like, oh, Thrawn's my master? Like, Palpatine was everybody's master because Palpatine will electrocute your butt if you don't listen to him. Like, you know what I mean? There's reasons, you can look at it and say, well, there's reasons why he's so powerful and I don't want to mess with him and he's got all this infrastructure. Thrawn has no power. He's in another galaxy. He has a crappy ship that doesn't work, and he has 50 zombie stormtroopers that are just basically as useless as any other stormtrooper in history. So why? Why do these witches even care what Thrawn wants? Why are they even there? It doesn't make any sense. Morgan should have just went, caught her witches, and left and went back home. Like, Morgan could have just asked the witches the exact same thing. Like, she doesn't need Thrawn. This doesn't make any sense. And then Ahsoka uses the Force to reach out to Sabine, and she does. So they have like a Luke and Leia moment, like where Luke feels Leia through the Force or whatever. What was the End of Empire? I'm like, Sabine? Like, anyway, whatever. And she acknowledges it. She knows where she is. Ahsoka finds out where she is. And everything comes so easy for Ahsoka the White. And it's just so boring. Oh no, I need to find Sabine and Ezra. Stop and think about Sabine and the Force. Oh, there she is, going down to see her now. Like, there's no, like, real plot line of struggle and finding people, and, like, there's just nothing there. It's just, everything just happens for her. The whales, the this, the that, like, she doesn't need anything. She doesn't have to struggle through anything. And then Thrawn opens fire. Even when she dies, right? She doesn't die. She dies. She gets thrown off a cliff into a 200-foot drop, probably hits a rock in the water, but doesn't. She's still alive, even though she drowned. Like, I don't understand how Filoni doesn't understand that's not interesting. It's not interesting when your main protagonist has zero struggles with anything and just exists and just does, and there's no pushback. It's boring. That's why Rey sucks. That's why everybody hates the sequels. So Thrawn opens fire on her ship after the Night Sisters also figure out where Ahsoka is with their treasure planet orbs, because they also each have a treasure planet orb. and then Ahsoka heads down into the planet. And then Baylan and Shin find Ezra and Sabine, and Baylan tells Shin to kill them both without him, but she is joined by a bunch of orcs with wargs. So she goes in there, there's a bunch of these guys on their wargs. And then, I don't know, Baylan goes to get a latte or something. He just leaves. It's weird. It's really weird. This whole show sucks. It's just so dumb. And then, so the wargs go after Sabine. Shin sends a signal telling Thrawn where, Sabine and Ezra are. And so he sends 2 gunships. This is a very important point, as we'll see in a minute. So the wargs surround them. And Ezra and Sabine face off against Shin. Okay, and then we cut to Ahsoka, who jumps off of her ship to confront Baylan. But this time she's Gandalf the White, so she will beat him instead of losing, and then they start fighting. And then back to Sabine. For some reason, Thrawn let her have her or Ezra's or whoever's lightsaber back. Like, Thrawn, this doesn't make any sense. I understand he was trying to get her to find Ezra so he could know where Ezra was, but he also gave her lightsaber. This doesn't make any sense. And then Ezra decides the Force is all he needs, and the bad guys with blasters somehow leave him alone. So there was a bunch of them that I guess didn't have blasters, and they only could do hand-to-hand combat. But all the guys with blasters happened to focus their attention on Sabine because they could have just shot him anyway. And then Ezra just fights them hand to hand, and Sabine and them and her group fight with blasters. It's just what is happening? And then Shin fights Ezra with her saber, and I'm like, why didn't you just blast him with a blaster? What are you guys doing? All these warg guys surrounded them. You could have just shot them. Why are you even using your lightsaber? You had them surrounded. It doesn't make any sense. This is the worst nonsensical strategy I've ever seen. And then this is literally Book of Boba Fett levels of stupidity. And then we're back to Ahsoka and Baylan's saber is noticeably more red now. And now I'm wondering, is this the new mood ring style sabers where they change color? I'm feeling a little more dark side today, baby, so my lightsaber's red. But some days I feel like I'm on the light side. And that's when I have a green blade. Sometimes a blue blade. Sometimes I'm in between and it's a purple blade. And you start thinking about it and it's what message is this actually sending in today's cultural landscape? So Baylan's red lightsaber and changing to red is it's just so cringy and dumb. Why? And then Ahsoka gets away. I don't even remember what she did to him. I don't even care. Whatever. And distracts him somehow, and then she gets on her warg and runs away, or his warg. She goes to save Sabine, and then it gets really dumb, as Shin also has the obviously red saber. They're no longer kind of orangey. And then she tells the zombie stormtroopers to shoot Ezra and Sabine, because they got them surrounded. And the same zombies that just landed right there where Sabine and Ezra were with gunships. Okay, so let me just explain this. So they had 2 gunships, like the normal style ones, from Clone Wars and stuff, they're in Jedi Survivor, whatever. It's they're gunships. Instead of just using the gunships to shoot them, they land, get off the gunships, surround them, and then Shin says to shoot them. But why didn't they just blow them away from the air? You don't even need to be there. Just shoot them. And then you're why didn't you blast them with the gunships? To save the turtle people? You didn't want to shoot them? It was because you worried you might hit Shin? Well, she has a comm link. She already used it to tell the location of where Ezra and Sabine were. She could just, they could send a message to her, hey, get out of there, and we're going to shoot them. Okay, and then she just moves away, and then they shoot them with the gun. No, there's no war strategy here. There's no sensibility. It's just a bunch of idiots. This is so terrible, and it's all just a setup so Ahsoka can fight Shin, which is exactly what happens. And then anyway, Thrawn talks about some sort of cargo transfer onto his ship, and how all of this was a distraction for the heroes because it's almost complete. and they are leaving without them anyway, and then there's this alarm sounded in the gunships, and all the zombies run away to them, and they fly back to Thrawn, and Shin's just standing there all confused, and Ahsoka offers to help her, but she just runs away. Ahsoka's like, join us and be good, and she just runs away, and that's literally it. Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine and the droid guy are reunited, and Thrawn's about to go back to the old galaxy. So the entire episode, all this stuff happens, but ultimately the entire plot of it is Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine and the droid guy are reunited, and Thrawn's going to go back to the old galaxy with whatever cargo he's bringing with him, which is probably going to have to do with this whole theory or leak that they're going to go back to the other galaxy and the Night Sisters have some sort of thing, and then they're going to change the Force or whatever they're going to do. Now, who knows? I don't even care. Like this show, I don't know how many hours of this show has gone on now. Like, it's got to be pushing like 5 hours or something, and like so little has happened in 5 hours of runtime. There's still long drawn out silences. The thing that stuck out to me as well was the lightsaber duels were just atrocious. Like, Baylan versus Ahsoka was probably the worst choreography I've seen anywhere anytime ever in Star Wars. Like, it was awful. Baylan and Ahsoka both turned their back on one another at various times. Like, you would never do that in a sword battle. Like, that's the stupidest thing you could ever do. You're gonna die if you do that in a sword battle. So there's just nothing here that's redeemable at this point. This show just gets worse and worse, and it's so funny to me, going on Twitter and looking at fans and how, man, episode 6 was so good, and then this one's so disappointing. And I'm like, how do you guys still not get it yet? Like, why are you still clinging to hope? It sucks. It's garbage. And Filoni has done a masterful job of sucking people into this idea that he's going to give you something tangible and something good, but you have to wait and watch, 7 hours or 6.5 hours of crap to get there. But then when you get there, all it's going to be, and this is exactly what the plot leak that I did a video about months ago says, literally the entire plot is they go and get Thrawn and he comes back, and that's the end of the season. That's literally all that's going to happen. Nothing else happens. Ahsoka gets Ezra, Ahsoka and Sabine get Ezra, and Morgan goes and gets, and Baylan and Shin go and get Thrawn. And Thrawn comes back to the old galaxy, and Sabine and Ezra and Ahsoka together come back to the old galaxy. 8 episodes, 6.5 hours. That is the entire plot of the show. Is they go and get Thrawn, bring him back. They go and get Ezra, bring him back. Imagine that. So you sitting there and watching this, that's the entire plot. They're not going to give you anything else, so that they can set up a season 2 where there's a conflict with Thrawn and the New Republic. Instead of doing what they should have done, see, they milk this because they need money and they want viewership. Thrawn should have been back after 2 episodes. They could have done everything they got done in this entire season in 2 episodes easily. And then you could have him and the New Republic and something exciting happen in the subsequent episodes after that. But no, Dave Filoni drags it and stretches it, and if you guys go back, if you've watched this show, the amount of useless, pointless scenes is incredible. There are, I would say, half to 60-70% of the scenes in the episodes, each episode, are completely pointless, and they offer nothing. You could just remove them, and your main plot would easily have still happened. Especially when you're looking at the first few episodes. They were all completely pointless. Completely pointless now looking back. All that to say, guys, you can let me know in the comment section what you think. It's comically bad. It's just funny, and it's fun to laugh at it. That's all you can do at this point. Star Wars is a comedy of errors now, and I just laugh at it. That's all you can do. There's nothing else there. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Thanks for listening. If you do like this content, please like and subscribe. Helps the channel. Feel free to check out any of my other Star Wars content, any of my non-Star Wars content, as well as my Star Wars sequels reimagined on my channel. And thanks for listening and watching, and have a great day.